brought to you by PrayLatin.com, makers of prayer cards featuring complete English phonetic renderings of Latin pronunciations.
Cardinal Blaise Cupich, the Cardinal Archbishop of Chicago, who hit mandatory retirement age a year ago, and Pope Francis opted to keep him on, and Pope Leo has so far opted to keep him on too, despite Cardinal Cupich being one of the worst figures in the church. He announced he's going to honor a Democrat politician for a lifetime of good work. And that senator is Dick Durbin. You know anything about Mr. Durbin? He is one of the poster children for the sacrifice to Moloch, as we have to call it here on these platforms, being legal and widely available. Again, if you ever wonder why it is I'm so hard on the hierarchy, it's because of the stuff here. This is the response to this from an Illinois group that fights the Moloch ritual, or the sacrifice to Moloch. They respond to Chicago Archdiocese plans to honor pro-sacrifice Senator Dick Durbin. Now, this didn't get enough attention in the last few days because, of course, the interviews Pope Leo has given to Crux magazine. That's kind of taken over everything. And I think to a degree, for good reason. When the Pope speaks, you should pay attention, especially when it's a new Pope and you don't really know what direction he's taking things in. This deserves your attention. Please pray that Cardinal Cupich to have his conscience illuminated before it's too late, and that Senator Dick Durbin converts. Because these are inexcusable, what they're doing here. On Thursday, September 17th, this Illinois organization responded news that Cardinal Blaise Cupich, on behalf of the Archdiocese of Chicago's Office of Human Dignity and Solidarity, plans to present Senator Dick Durbin with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the upcoming Keep Hope Alive benefit on November 3rd, 2025. The Office of Human Dignity and Solidarity is honoring a man who has done more, who has in the top 1% of people in this country who have done more harm to human dignity and solidarity than anyone else alive. The church emphasizes that human beings are integrated persons and that we cannot live in spiritual harmony if we are denying even one aspect of the truth of the faith, said the organization. Oh, okay. Thought that was Cardinal Cupich. My apologies. The church emphasizes that human beings are integrated persons and that we cannot live in spiritual harmony if we are denying even one aspect of the truth of the faith, said the president of the organization, Mary Kate Zander. Presenting Dick Durbin with an award, and from the Office of Human Dignity, no less, is an explicitly inconsistent and un-Catholic choice by Cardinal Cupich. Not only does it cause scandal among the faithful by creating confusion, it also puts the senator's soul at risk by failing to hold him accountable for his refusal to oppose the evil sacrifice in the U.S. Senate. Senator Durbin's voting record since his election to the U.S. Senate in 1997 consistently opposes essentially Catholic principles on these matters. He had voted against key legislation to protect human beings, including the most late time that can be that sacrifice can be done. A ban on it. He voted against it. He voted against the sacrifice being done to anybody who can feel pain. Anybody who survives the procedure getting medical assistance. He opposed that. He also supported the Women's Health Protection Act, which aimed to codify that evil 1973 Supreme Court Act, despite the Supreme Court's ruling that it was unconstitutional. Senator Durbin also displayed incongruence with Catholic doctrine in comments he made to then Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett during her confirmation hearings in 2020. In one exchange, Senator Durbin suggested that Catholics who refer to themselves as, quote, Orthodox, do so to separate themselves from mainstream Catholicism. What a nice way to admit that you're a heretic. He then asked Coney Barrett whether she considered herself to be an Orthodox Catholic and inquired as to whether she wears a rosary on her person. So he's an anti-Catholic. And Cardinal Cupich is giving him a Lifetime Achievement Award. The following year, the senator, who is a self-proclaimed Catholic, was barred from receiving Holy Communion in his home diocese of Springfield, Illinois, as a result of his senatorial votes. Bishop Thomas Paprocki presides over the Diocese of Springfield. I would love to know what kind of phone call he got from Cardinal Cupich on that. Cardinal Cupich has a history of towing the line when it comes to this issue. In August of 2024, he accepted an invitation to offer the opening prayer at the Democratic National Convention held in Chicago. Support for that evil procedure has appeared in that party's platform since 1980. The Cardinal's predecessor, Joseph Cardinal Bernardin, was invited to speak at the DNC in 1996, but he declined. That's because Bernardin, by 1996, was in really bad health. So, Cardinal Cupich is honoring an anti-Catholic who was on paper a Catholic. After all, he went after her for her being a little orthodox, and found the idea that she carried a rosary on her person offensive. He went after her for that. Senator Dick Durbin needs your prayers for his soul before it is too late. Now, got to keep the peace in my comment section here. What do you think of this? Are you surprised to see Cardinal Cupich doing what he's doing? This is right out of his usual playbook. He is a adherent of the seamless garment heresy, which it puts all moral issues facing society on the same equal plane. Unemployment, people without homes, people not being able to afford access to doctors when they need them, any social ill, including the sacrifice to Moloch and James Martin's parody of holy matrimony, are all on the same equal footing. Comes from Cardinal Bernardin. He's the one who coined the term seamless garment. It's all part of one larger cultural problem. And the reason it's so compelling to people is there's an element of truth to it. Because if we live in, as John Paul II called it, a culture of death, then yeah, these issues are out there, and they all come from the same dehumanizing source, which is the rejection of God and the embrace of absolute depraved materialism. That's why. That's where it comes from. But that doesn't mean the various consequences of it are on the same moral plane. By far, they're not. Obviously, they're not. But Cardinal Cupich will never say that. Cardinal Cupich will defend the secular left because he is one. His job is to make their positions accessible for Catholics who might agree with that party on a lot of other issues, but get a little hung up on those kind of moral issues. It's Cardinal Cupich's job, and men like him in the priesthood and in the hierarchy, to assuage their fears and make it so they can be good, committed progressives, even if they personally disagree with the party's stance on those issues. Make no mistake about it. I'm not trying to make you mad at Cardinal Cupich, so please pray for him. I'm curious what you think about all this, so let me know in the comments, please. So like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. Share this on social media helps a lot too. Pray for the church and pray for everybody we spoke about today. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.